All right, we're live here. Fatboy FadeAway Sports Monday Cooler Talk. I called it Raiders, Niners. Yes, we both lost this week. We felt like, all right, we got it. There's a lot to get into. These were some bad losses, a lot of frustration coming off of Sunday morning where there was some excitement, some joy, some passion, Casey. That got ripped away from us quickly. With the Panthers there. We got it away there with it.
The
Tyler
cardiac
McGurk.
cat.
Tyler McGurk, your team played special. They did not get the job done over there with it. Let's start Niners Rams with it. Like I did kind of last night on Talking the Gridiron. Your thoughts on the game? Up 14. I'll get some of the plays up on the screen as we talk. But go ahead, Mr. McGurk.
I mean, let's just start with the special teams. Special was a great way to put it. It's special at its finest. The special teams absolutely blew the game for us. And the defense, and then we'll get into Purdy a little later. The special teams, let's go through it. They give up a fake punt for a first down, which was a killer. Momentum changer, which also is a momentum changer. Brought Purdy throws a perfect pass to Ayuk. Ayuk drops it. Then we have the fourth down. They get the first down. They go on, score a touchdown. Next play. End of the game. Jake Moody misses a 55-yard field goal, put a 10-point game. One of these plays is made, we win the game. And then to cap it all off, we're going to try and send it to overtime. We kick the punt, and here we go. 35-yard kick return to the 50, and Matthew Stafford does the rest, gets the pass interference on a Devontae Campbell who can't guard anybody. We're missing Dre Greenlaw immensely. We're missing any speed on the defense.
Yep.
Our safeties can't guard anybody. Jair Brown is terrible. If the ball is not thrown right at him, he just can't guard anybody.
What happened to your defense,
tackle,
though?
But he can't guard.
I don't know, but Casey and I were always jealous of your defense, and now at least in that game, that was not clutch postseason defense.
The defense was terrible. The pass rush is non-existent. Hargrave is out for the year now. He's locked up. He's been terrible since they signed him. He's been a waste of money.
Yeah, but it's a body.
Signing a guy D-tackle on the first day of free agency and giving him top dollar.
D-tackles, man. Whenever you sign a D-tackle, I'm always like, oh, you don't know.
I want like a Sam Adams type, 340-pound space eater that says plays first and second down, locks up a guard in the center.
Who was the other guy on the Packers that was kind of famous for
Gilbert
that?
Brown.
Yeah, we get those.
Just give me a big fatty in there who can slow down the run. We can't stop the run. Which is frustrating enough. And then we're getting beat over the top. If you're getting beat over the top and you can't stop the run,
yeah, I know, I got you.
You're doomed. The defense sucks. Bosa and Warner are the only players who are playing with any above average skill. Tavarius Ward, I think, is hurt. Demo's okay, but it just Ward's been terrible. I have to blame it on an injury because he hasn't been this bad since he's been a Niner. It's so frustrating.
Casey, Eddie, I know you have some thoughts on this one. What do you think about the Rams pulling it off here?
Well, it takes a lot to go right, a lot to go wrong, which kind of everything just unfolded. Tyler kind of put it there perfectly. One of the bigger plays, too, was Ronnie Bell dropping basically a go route at the end. And Purdy.
Let me get that up on the screen.
Hit him right up on the hand. So, yeah. That was a huge one right there. And then Shanahan, this is kind of what he does, right? He gives up big leads. It's just kind of becoming I don't know, not normal, but you almost want to say it is. And McVay's a good coach. It's just everything went wrong that could go wrong.
And Stafford's a good quarterback, right?
That goddamn number 10 jersey is just jinxed. It's jinxed on the 49ers. Kyle Williams and now Ronnie Bell. Stop giving that number out. A routine cat. Brock Purdy was damn near perfect outside of that fumble, which was a big play. So he does do some little criticism for fumbling right before half, giving him a free field goal. But outside of that, just absolutely perfect.
I think they said Young and Montana and now Purdy are the only ones to go throw for over 70% and I believe 3 touchdowns in the same game and lose. So, It's not like Purdy played bad at all. He played good.
It was great. He ran the ball enough. He was getting first downs with his legs.
He almost did that incredible escape where he almost got the first down after running 120 yards, which was a lot more elusive than people give him credit for.
I think he's the best player or best quarterback in the NFC. I don't think it. Stafford's good.
So Brian was right. Purdy never.
Love is good when he's at his best, but he is too often not at his best. So I don't know who else you put up there.
I like I like the ripping you're giving the Niners. This does feel Johnson-esque from last night. So you guys were
We deserve
Brian talking the
This
gridiron
was a
last
tough
night.
loss.
It was real bad. Casey, I know you have more there at the game too.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, anytime. I mean, Kittle, McCaffrey, all these injuries are like Devo. I mean, they're piling up. You can only replace so many guys, and these are superstar guys. I mean, it's kind of like what I said. You know, the Niners. I don't know. It's hard to go to that many NFC conference games year after year. It's gonna wear on your body, and they relatively would have the same players that have been going to those long, deep runs in the playoffs. So it's going to wear on you. You just hope it doesn't kind of happen like the Bills where they have nothing to show for after all these, 5 years of dominance.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and that's where the Niners are getting into. I feel like this is a big year for them. I mean, I know next year there's still a window for them, but it is. And the other thing you have to remember too, as a Niners fan, is like, okay, McCaffrey's not in. Like there's some hope. There is something about playing better the last 6 weeks of the NFL season. There is something to that. I guess the Chiefs can prove you wrong with Mahomes weirdly, but I feel like that's still the case. Anyways, I thought it's a bad. The only thing good though is that the Seahawks are 3-0, and everybody else is 1-2 in the NFC West.
Yeah, I mean the division's still.
Kyle Williams is a damn good running back too. Man, he's
unbelievable. That touchdown where he flips in, that was special. It made me stand out of my chair, and I'm not even I was disappointed, but I was still like, oh, what a play! Damn, running away from Devondre Campbell. Yeah, that was a great play. My worry. I'm not counting the Niners out. It's still 3 weeks in. I'm not overreacting too much. The defense is just pathetic, and they're not getting a pass rush, and I don't know where they're going to get better in the secondary unless Tavarius Ward's hurt, which I'm hoping. But he's not afraid to sit out, so I don't know. I just don't know. The defense sucks right now. And Hargrave's out for the year. Just broke today, so it's not getting better.
But you don't sound too heartbroken. I mean, Kittle was out too last week.
The offense is going to keep them in games.
Well, I thought Ayuk had some had a few drops that he wished. I mean, there was that throw that was a little behind him, but I would think he could have made that catch.
Purdy threw 8 incompletions and there were 6 drops. It's terrible. Ayuk got 12 targets or 10 targets. He caught 5. So 5 of his incompletions were to Ayuk. They're not messing. Ayuk was open for a bomb that Purdy did miss. Got to hold Purdy accountable for that, but he didn't see him throw it. He still got 4 yards or threw a completion.
Oh, they made a big deal about that on my way to the game yesterday, listening to Greg.
But I feel like if that's what you're doing, you're nitpicking at this point. Like, one play you missed the open receiver. Like, I think that happened.
It sounded like there was it sounded like but the other play that we haven't brought up much was that 50-yard throw. What was that on Ward, or is that the one you brought up?
Yeah,
earlier? That was a huge play.
Yeah, they
50-yard game
going
into the 2-minute warning. That's a pretty big play going into it too. That kind of changed that whole drive, especially when Williams is so good at the goal line. Nobody's tackling that guy. That guy is strong
he's good, and
he might be my favorite running back.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Not as like short, but he does, or he doesn't look. He's
pretty short.
He doesn't come across as short. Maybe it's the leg effect of Drew came across a little bit more. What do you guys think of the Raiders here, Case? Our team, they sucked it up against the Panthers 34-7. Probably one of the more disappointing things I saw. Here's what Pierce had to say on the game afterwards.
The team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and will make business decisions going forward as well.
Tyler referenced a little to Mr. Singletary with his Niner days with that type of emotion from a middle linebacker. Case, I think me and you,
his pants down.
You were confident about the Raiders after that win, but I think the one thing me and you, if we would have done this thing on Monday, that my first thing would have been that they don't have the ability for me to guarantee they'll go back and win again when they are known for letdowns. That's what they always do is are letdowns. And then my guy Nico last night, who is a Broncos fan but is very honest with his sports, gave me kind of just the harsh reality I think me and you both knew, and that's why our team is probably no better than 9-8 and 8-8. As much as I know the dream of 11 still holds true for you, is Casey. I don't think I mean, Adams can't be like, oh my gosh, like, thank you for getting rid of Jimmy G. And then like, oh yeah, Minshew, let's go. Like, that's way better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Adams thinks that way. And like, I don't know. I'm frustrated with that loss, but it's not unexpected in a weird way. I don't know. It was like, I'm watching at Papa's Pizza. I'm like 14-0 or 14-7. That feels about right. Get home 21-7. I'm like, yep, that seems about right. Pathetic.
No, it was. I mean, it's as much
Pathetic.
as I'm an optimistic person about the Raiders, you kind of had that, like, as soon as they made the change to Andy Dalton, I was like,
Screwed us.
I don't like it already. Like, it just feels like there's just the Raiders always have that. Like, they just have these games where it's like, I thought it'd be a new regime with Pierce and it'd just be different results. But me and Dad, I was like, this is depressing. Like, there wasn't one good thing.
No, it was like Oakland Raiders old days style with like Aaron Brooks even or something.
Ronald Curry.
I was telling Tyler, I texted him, I was like, it's like Billy Volek throwing 596 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like, we're going against Saturday that you brought up, a high school coach, like a few days later. Baker Mayfield, 2 days on the Rams beating us. Like
Tim Tebow.
Big Dick Nick.
The Bears game, which I can't even, the quarterback's probably not even in the NFL now. That's how irrelevant he was. He was like the 4th string guy. I mean, they just lose these type of games, and it's like, why?
It's like Al Davis sold his soul in the 70s or something, unless it feels like.
Something, man. I mean, God,
like, God, give me 3 Super Bowls. And then, like, the rest has been, like, it's, like, literally been, like, comic book stuff since, like, the time they've made the Super. It's, like, literally, you're like, how do you write this up as a franchise? This is, like, I don't even think you could script some of these things that have happened, like, over the last 30 years with this franchise. It's and this loss is just another example of ownership and patheticness there. And then, Casey, you look at the Steelers, who have Justin Fields as their new quarterback, and they're 3-0. You look at it, and it's like it's like from the Rooney family down, they are way more structured. Tomlin gets a job. He stays there for 18 years. They don't mess up. They give guys chances. Like it's this team is pathetic, and this organization, they deserve all the criticism in the world. This ranks as one of the 5 worst organizations in American sports over the last 30 years. You cannot tell me differently. Maybe we'll go since they made the Super Bowl. So that might be a little bit less than 30. But Casey Breyer, this is literally the A's are better than them. And that's even they're moving right now. And I'm frustrated. I'm so mad about it. And like I can't even get like frustrated to where I'm like banging on tables and throwing printers and breaking lights. But it's just like from afar, it's like this is bad football. I'm sorry, Dad. Why did you have to be an East Bay fan at times? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just so frustrating. Tyler, get back on here.
Yeah, no, it was killer, man. I mean, like I said, there was nothing to root about. It was just like the next day, if we're having conversations with people going, should Andy Dalton be in the Hall of Fame? It's like we're bringing up these conversations because the Raiders made him look that good. I mean, everyone's having struggles on offense throughout the entire NFL. Andy Dalton comes in a cool over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, an amazing passer rating. It's just like, one, you got to be like, well, how bad was Bryce Young really? And then, like, if you're going to put up 30-some points, I mean, I get it, schematics change with the quarterback, but it was just the lack of effort. They look like they're sleepwalking for the home opener that you'd want to have. You would think you'd come out like hair on fire, just tackling, flying around. It was like the complete opposite. It was just really tough to watch. I mean, we had to flip over after, I don't know, maybe through the 3rd quarter. And it was like, man, I guess we're going to watch the Niners. And that was like the only happy part about my Sunday was seeing them blow a lead. Like
that was I couldn't agree more.
The Raiders game was just god awful. Like as soon as Crosby was kind of limited, he just wasn't himself with the high ankle sprain. He just didn't have it. I mean, Jack Jones, I don't even know, like, the tackling it was just an awful game.
Business decision.
It was PTSD of trauma of games that I've seen before. And it's just like, man, it's just like, here we go. We can go 2-1. The schedule's pretty light for the next few weeks. And we, like I said, we'd be 5-1, 4-2. Now it's like, these are the games when you play the Panthers. It's like 2-1 and 1-2 is a big difference, kind of, especially for the Raiders, teams like that to get that momentum going early and the belief. I don't see how you can beat the Ravens and then get your ass whipped against Carolina in home. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Only if the Raiders. That's the only time.
Dan, you started this whole thing out with the Pierce and mentioned Mike Singletary. He brings up the business decision. Who do you think he's referring to in that instance? He's obviously
Everybody.
has somebody in mind. The whole team?
I think he's referring to 90% of the players. I mean, I think he's referring to all of them. I think he's a defensive guy. I think he looks at the tackling. I mean, that's who he played. I told you he had the greatest quote. I remember it so randomly about the one versus the Raiders. Do you remember that brought up like thousands of times on the Fatboy FadeAway? Is like, or is the game against Jamarcus Russell in like whatever year that was, 2007. You could look it up, just put D'Antonio Pierce ripping Raiders or something, and it comes up. It's him saying to the Raiders when they lost 44-7 at New York, and they were up 41-0 at one point by the end of the third quarter. He said that was like playing against a high school team. They quit in the first quarter. That's what he said about the Raiders when he was the middle linebacker. So my point is, I think he realizes that this team gave up, and they did. That was some. Casey said that was some that was not good football, Tyler. That is the definition of like when I went to Raiders games and be like, Dad, let's go right now. And he's like, it's the second quarter. I'd be like, yes, let's go right now. I don't want to waste the rest of my Saturday.
I'd be like, out here early.
I mean, let's get the nachos and let's get. I was like, let's get them early back then and leave. Like you could tell back then, like you know what I mean. Like I was at that Mark Sanchez famous hot dog game, like 41-0. I was there for those games, so it's bad football along the way. A bad weekend for us. A bad weekend for both our teams. Tyler,
you think Justin Fields would be doing as well? I mean, the Steelers have
had the Raiders suck.
3 quarterbacks or 3 coaches since 1969. Like,
no,
I don't think. I think Justin Fields would try. I think
Fields would give us a better chance because he's more athletic than Minshew.
Yeah,
like he would be able to run for maybe some more first downs, make some crazier plays. But like, I don't think we go. It's not like a Super Bowl. I don't know, or something like wild, like winning the division. It's just like. They're so far off. And then, like, Nico brought up the point last night about they shouldn't have drafted Bowers. He's like, he's a stud, but
that's a terrible – I disagree wholeheartedly there.
Well, I think what his point was is they need more than that. And, like, but my always argument is like, Casey, is Minshew and AOC is the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Of course. I mean, I've said that. Our quarterback play sucked. I mean, he had the one, I guess, plays, I would say, like a drive and a half against the Ravens. That was pretty much the kind of.
Do you think AOC will be in next week if Minshew like scores 7 points in the first half and they're down like 21-7 or 21-3? Let's say 21-3, and they're down next week. They're down 21-3. Do they bring him in?
I mean, if it's the fourth quarter, probably.
No, I mean it'd be before that. Let's say by the halftime it's 21-3.
No, I think they'll give him. I think they'll give Minshew another game, 2 games.
Do you guys trust AOC any more than you? I trust Minshew more than AOC.
The one thing about AOC I like if he'll just at least he'll. When I like Minshew better too. It's just I'm just saying like at some point the quarterback boost. Like it's not like Minshew's a stud. Like you know what I mean. So I think there's a point where they might just go back and forth.
If you guys were the Raiders brass. I'll say how I feel like I'd fix it. Not that it's a good way, but how would you fix it? I would go and just study what the Patriots did with Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez and say Bowers and Meyer. We're going one back. Devontae Adams is our main, but the tight ends are going to be what we're featuring. Bowers, we drafted you 11th overall. He's been a stud. I think he's the best player.
Minshew's not that good at the line.
Adams is 30.
Minshew doesn't change. He gets to the line with like 11 seconds left, and then they have like
a coaching thing more than a
minute. Yeah, except when we want to do a 4th and 2 QB sneak, which made no sense. It's like
that changed the game too. That changed the game too. You're right. That 4th and
1.
So
how do you change it? What would you change?
I like the idea of what you said, the 2 tight end thing, but. They don't have a quarterback. Like he doesn't make like there was plenty of opportunities where he could have just been like audible Bowers, whatever. I see the defense left in or whatever it is and just hit him. Like quarterbacks do that. Like it's you could say Gronkowski and Hernandez, but at the end of the day, it's Thomas that made those throws, and that's to me what actually is the key to success with it.
But if Minshew you cannot run the ball, I mean they can't run.
The ball. Suck. They suck.
Like it's 2 yards, a yard.
Yeah.
It's like
hitting a brick wall.
They don't have a powerful back. Like they have.
Josh Jacobs sucks. Josh Jacobs is what a loser he is. I mean, that's my point. Is they should have brought him back. What a terrible decision.
Well, if you're gonna hang your hat on playing defense and time of
I
possession,
don't think Jacobs makes the difference.
No, he does. He's a locker room guy
Yeah.
too.
he's a Pro Bowler. He led the NFL in rushing.
He's a Pro Bowler. Don't
I want to hear about Pro Bowlers.
He led the NFL. That's legit.
The Ravens' backup quarterback with the Pro
Who
Bowl.
was that?
He
That
was good.
Who
Like,
was that, Tyler? That was like one of my
who
favorite
was
moments
it?
ever.
He was an African American fella.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler
What, in
Huntley,
the 1980s. Tyler's on ABC.
I do think Jacobs is better than Zamir White and Madison. Like, I'm not buying them. But that other line's terrible. I don't know. I just would be getting rid of the ball quick and playing your defense as much as I possibly can.
Hey, the one good thing is we're both 1-2, Casey.
Yeah.
We suck too.
Well, the only good thing, Tyler, is we can hold our hat on is pettiness. So that's about the one thing we can.
I mean, why did the refs have to help the Chiefs help us out? Like give us calls that.
I've been saying that for 2 Super Bowls.
We need more than just calls.
All that happened. The Chiefs bitched and moaned and whined about because Jadarius.
But they have
Toney,
Patrick Mahomes.
Contavious Toney was offsides by a foot, and then ever since that, the Chiefs got every single call they want.
But
All
see,
they had to do was complain.
But Mahomes hasn't even been that great.
Do you think it's the
But
black?
they still
the Darth
get
Vader?
calls and winning.
Well,
Why
I
can't the
agree with you.
we've
Darren said
had
that
more
Patrick
calls as a
Mahomes.
Raiders organization changed because it came against us. I mean, the
Do
only
you think
one that was.
do you think we should draft
positive
Sanders
was
next year?
Roller.
Maybe we should draft Sanders next year, Casey. You saw that Hail Mary I showed you. Skip Bayless
It's
says
the
best player in the game.
That's
I mean,
a
I would-
telltale sign that he's not the best player of the game. If you're Skip Bayless, he's called him the best. You're in trouble.
No, it's going to be tough. If you don't have a quarterback, it's hard to win in the NFL. I mean, it's just really difficult. You have to play sound football, no turnovers, and you hope you win the possession and, the side of the field. And that's pretty much how you're going to win the games because you're not going to win too many games
You're absolutely.
for 35 yards. It's just hard. I mean, look at the Cowboys. That's how it happens. You just get destroyed on one side of the line, you get destroyed on the other. You're not going to win if you don't win in the trenches. It's just almost impossible.
Tyler, you said the Niners play the Patriots next week at home, and the Raiders play the Browns next week at home. Prediction for that, Tyler? What do you got for both those games?
I mean,
You can change it Sunday, obviously, if you join us.
Yeah.
But,
I got the Niners beating the Patriots. The Patriots suck. I mean, as long as Jacoby Brissett's out there and their best receiver.
Jacoby
Is-
touchdown!
I
If
don't
you
even
lose to
know who it is
Jacoby,
at this point.
if you lose
Yeah.
to Jacoby, are you now
Hunter Henry
you're
company.
are you in full panic mode if they lose to the Patriots?
Yeah, absolutely. The Patriots are
Okay.
terrible.
I'm just making
They're-
sure. If you
O-line
lose to the
sucks.
Patriots,
The Patriots' best chance of winning is playing like they played against Buffalo when they threw the ball 4 times and ran it the rest of the game in the thick snow. Like
it
the
pours
Niners'
rain.
offense,
Starts
Most
raining.
Purdy doesn't turn it over.
Yeah,
Are
well,
they
that's
in New? Are they playing in New England?
No, at home in San Jose.
Yeah, you guys will win.
What's up?
I see that.
Mr. Primetime. What's up
The
with it?
damn Detroit Lions.
Those damn Detroit Lions. You got that? They won 20-13. Got that on that. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've been able to connect with you. So thanks for tuning in here. We're doing a kind of a rare Monday Fatboy Fadeaway, kind of just wrapping it up here with it. Casey, what do you think of the Raiders at Browns next week, and then they got the Niners, like we said next week against the Patriots. What are you going with the Raiders to bounce back? What do you got?
That's gonna break my heart. I feel like the more I invest, the more crucial or hard it is to have a good rest of the Sunday. But don't want to invest all my emotions. But I they got to beat the Browns. They're playing at home again. I don't think they can flop.
They don't have to. We learned that they do not.
If it's big and brown, flush it down.
I'm saying it, but I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it as confident as I want to be. But
should we get Douglas on Sunday morning for a little talk?
It's gonna be tough. I think the Niners for sure. I think the Niners are locked to win that game.
Case, we might have to get Doug on for double. He's a Browns fan. Maybe we should get him on Sunday morning right before the show. We can talk about the crappiness. I mean, if anybody can relate to us, that's probably about who could in that regard. So he's probably
because they got 2 quarterbacks that used to be on the Browns that are playing well everywhere.
Hey, we at
least their team came back home to them. That's all I can say.
You son of a. We had Jerry Porter though. All right. Hey, Number 10 in receptions all time in Raiders. You wouldn't believe it or not, he does. All right, so I got that. I have the Raiders losing to the Browns. I don't think they can. I when you lose to the Panthers like that, you lose all confidence. I have no.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it takes me right back to where I was before. The Niners, they better win by 10. That's kind of how I feel. Like I know Tyler can be like, well, whatever, a late field
Just
goal,
win.
whatever. You could say that. I need to see a little bit though. I need to see a little bit from the defense. They should be able to dominate a game like this. So I'm just saying, if they give up 21 points or 24 points to the Patriots, I'm going to be like, man, what is up with this defense? Like, that's going to be where I'm at. Like, it's not going to be, and I would think if you're just analyzing it like that moving forward, you might think the same way. So, after that performance against the Jets, you guys should be pretty good. So let's see.
I just don't see the defense getting better. Like, I don't see where the room cut until Greenlaw comes back. They don't have a pass rush outside of Bosa, and I feel like he's so good that he gets held so often that they just won't call it because
When's Greenlaw
they can't
supposed
call
to
a
be
hold
back?
every play. What?
When's Greenlaw supposed to be back though?
I don't know, by week 8, but probably later.
Do you
than
trust that though? That feels like
I'm guessing week 12, week 14,
Yeah,
somewhere late. Is he going to be a full strength then? Probably not. I don't know. It's going to be the Niners just need to rely on Purdy and co. and to figure it out.
Mr. Primetime, the Niners are done. Sounds like our guy Terrell over there says they'll win next week, but he's got the Rams winning the division over there.
I think that NFC Championship game is still worried on him.
Does that
one still hurting you, Mr. Prime?
There is Niners, the Lions, man. The Lions, though, they kind of barely beat the Like I said, I have my issues with Goff. He's a Bay Area guy. We like him, Mr. Primetime from Nevada. Believe it or not, we're all like 40 minutes there. Goff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. I always find it funny. We're 40 minutes from somebody that went to lived in Nevada. It's kind of a weird Nevada out of all places. That's where over there. So, anyways, we have that for this week. We're about 30 minutes in. Case, I just want to. I know this is not football related for a second, but John Fisher of the A's put out. Maybe you'll understand this, Mr. Price. But you've had your Tigers. They're not leaving. In Casey's A's are leaving. John Fisher put out a newsletter today saying, let's put it this way. It was almost like he said into his phone, he's like, can you write up AI? Can you please write up a newsletter for the A's leaving Oakland? And that's basically what it felt like when he wrote it. So just a pathetic piece of trash. He wrote that out. I still feel like I want to go Wednesday to the game. So that's kind of like on my mind. 6:30 start would be the last game. So that's kind of on my mind as we ended up here.
John Fisher probably put it in the Gazette. He didn't even put it on Twitter or anything, just the old school newspaper no one reads. He just throw it in there. They're
put it on the back of the sports page.
It's so frustrating and infuriating, dude. I've been watching more and more, and it's just like, man, after the Raiders taking a dump basically on us this weekend, then now you got the A's leaving. It's like, man, everything that's going.
I gotta go, Chase. Sorry, we gotta go.
All right, we'll call it a day.